So I got into Booktube by literally just looking up books on YouTube. I swear, my first introduction to it was just looking up books on
Yeah.
YouTube. Like that's all I typed in the search engine, and I got a lot of people who was reading like the self help and financial books. But then I seen um, Jack Edwards was the
Okay.
first like
Yep.
official like booktuber that I actually watched, and when I watched it, I just really like was attracted to like what he was talking about, and the way he was talking about it and the books that he was reading. I was like, man, it's kind of cool. And then, the algorithm, once you watch one, you see a bunch of them. So I just I just kept scrolling and kept scrolling. And that really like got me worked back up, and that's what got me thinking like I don't have to only read like self-help books or, fall into that trap of you only have to read this to get better or be a reader.
Mm.
So that's what got me into it. And then my brother is the one who got me to really record myself and actually join BookTube because I was telling him about the idea because it's something that I've just been kind of sitting on, and I was always telling him like I'll do this or I'll do that and I'll do certain things, but then I'll stop, and he was like, bro, if you really want to do it, you do it every day. Like
Mhm.
you do it every day already. So just record yourself. It's not going to be any different than you doing it. You're going to do it regardless. So I was like, all right, well, I need something that I'm gonna stick to, and I want to prove to myself that I can stick to doing something. So I just started doing it. And that first video, I was nervous. I was super nervous, but I just did it, to prove to myself that I could do it. And I just kept doing it because it was fun. Once I did it, and I got behind the camera and just start talking, it was it was fun.
Yeah.
So and then like I said, I love reading, so it was super easy to talk about. You
Yeah,
know,
the book community is so cool. Like you said, Jack, you just have all these content creators in the space that are doing it, doing their own style, their own unique way, the way they edit cameras and like the
mm-hmm.
way your style. One of the ones that I enjoy when you went to Walmart. I think that's really unique,
Yeah,
specifically because you usually see people always it's always Barnes and Noble, right? And it's always
yep.
this. So like even showing those uniqueness is like I was watching your content. I really appreciate that. The other thing, kind of to that point is like, do you feel obligated sometimes to read certain books that are the most trendy books? Like, you know what I mean? In the sense of, because in the book content, I mean, we see BookTube, a lot of times people start reading similar books, like whatever
Yeah,
is the new one. Like, it might right now, it's obviously Emily Henry. Like, do you feel like,
yeah.
okay, everybody's reading Emily Henry, they're doing their critiques of it, or they're saying how good it is? Do you like, oh, I need to go get on that? Or
Yeah.
do you kind of do your own style and it is what it is?
Honestly, it is what it is, but it's
Mm.
like it's 80, it's like 80-20. So like it's 80, I'm gonna do what I want, and then 20% like I kind of do want to stay with the trends. But I'm so new to this kind of reading, like reading fiction and things like that, that I'm already reading like books that people have read 4 or 5 years ago anyway. So I don't necessarily try and focus on it too much because you get a lot of repetition. You know what I'm saying? You get a lot of repetition and people once you watch something 4 or 5 times, it doesn't matter how different the person is. You don't want to listen to the same thing over and over. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Yes.
one thing I pay attention to, and I always pay attention to. And like I said, I actually like digest BookTube. So like I watch
Exactly.
a lot of these channels. I watch a lot of these creators, and I pay attention, to what they're putting out. So I definitely try to be different, but I also don't try to where it looks like I'm trying to be different.
Exactly.
Um, and I really just do things.
Mhm.
If I feel like if I'm doing something, if I'm about to do something, I just record myself and do it. And I come up with a plan on how I want it to be structured a little bit, and I just go and do it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily try and worry about um, what's trendy too much because, like I said, that's not me authentically. I don't necessarily try and keep up with trends or anything like that. I just kind of do what I feel is fun or cool at the time, and that's what I'm putting out. So I don't want to focus on everybody else too much, but I also do want to make sure that I stay in the loop a little bit,
Yeah.
because you out the loop. So
Yeah, you're right. And it's so for example, it's like watching a 5 when he does a 24-hour reading challenge is going to be different than watching Jack when he does his the 24
Yeah,
challenge, because your experience is different. The way you shoot is going to be different, or
exactly.
even the way
Yep.
a Destiny might shoot it might be completely different too, right? I just think it's
Yep.
cool. Content creators, especially in the book space, and the way the book community loves the content creators, right? They pour into them. They watch their content. They ask questions and figure out all that. I think it's just really unique. So I'm curious to how you think about community and building your audience in the book space.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I love the community, just book space. I mean, Booktube as a whole, and
Yeah.
then the community that I've built. It's been amazing. Like the comments and like the outpour of love that you get, literally every single video is amazing. And I love Booktube just because it's very interactive. Like everybody in the comments are always talking to each other. They're talking to you. And the one thing that I try and focus on is also talking to people in the comments. Like I don't see one thing I don't see a lot is creators talking to the people in the comments. And
Mhm.
that's one thing that I really try and focus on because y'all are the reason I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are part of the reason that I'm making these videos and putting out this content in the first place. So I want to make sure that I'm talking to y'all and y'all understand that I'm a person just like y'all.
Mhm.
I'm just recording myself and putting it out there. Um, and that's what I'm here for is to talk to y'all. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, and let y'all know how I'm feeling and talk about these books and talk about whatever else. So that's one thing I focus on. But I really do think community is like a super big part of BookTube. I feel like if the community wasn't as like tight knit, then it wouldn't work. Is like some
Yeah.
other communities is. I don't I have seen like some like toxic sort of things that goes on in like booktube or whatever,
Yeah.
but I try not to focus on that as much. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I definitely see it. So there's always two sides to a coin. um but overall, I think booktube has a pretty good community.
If you enjoyed that clip, make sure you head over to www.bookupapp.com to download our app so you can connect with your favorite bookish content creators, start conversations, and start your own book club.